What's up everyone, this is ShoryuGame welcoming you to another KOF 15 trailer analysis. And yes, my best waifu is finally back canonically and joins the roster from the beginning. Leaving Blue Mary aside in KOF 13 was a huge letdown, and even though she was present in 14, she wasn't added to the game until the very end as a DLC, which meant she didn't have significant character development and had almost no story elements. KOF 15 is on its way to be one of the best installments of the series, with all these returning characters. Now, if you could just bring back Best Boy Yamazaki and kind-hearted Rugal, I'd be 100% sold. So who is Blue Mary, you may ask? Even though I'm triggered for even asking this question, I'll give you a brief answer. She is a character from the Fatal Fury series. Her first debut was in its third episode. Her introduction to KOF was in the 97 installment as part of one of the best teams ever with Billy and Yamazaki. From there, she joined different teams in later games. She was part of the Women Fighters, the Fatal Fury and the Agents teams. Mary is a freelance detective and could join any team depending on the motive behind her entrance to the tournament. I recently made a video about her, so definitely check it out if you want to know more about her. The trailer starts with the introduction of the sunset version of the beach stage. I personally prefer it over its other version. It certainly looks very beautiful and makes me wonder if it's considered as a different stage or if stages in 15 are going to change between rounds. I hope it's the latter possibility, that would be sick. Also, choosing this stage in particular for Mary's trailer is a nice callback to her stage in Real Bout Special and the one in KOF 2002 UM. Speaking of 02 UM, the theme playing in the background, Masquarade, is her team's theme in that same game. I don't know why, but whenever I hear it, the image of Yamazaki stabbing people while laughing like a maniac comes to my mind immediately. On a side note, there is a number on the sides of the small boats. It's actually a date that says August 25, 1994. I looked it up and it turns out to be the date when KOF was released on the arcades for the first time. It's a cute little detail. Moving on to Mary's model, I can say that she never looked so stunning. Her outfit is pretty much the same from 14, which was mostly the same since KOF 97, and I'm very glad they kept it. The red top and the blue pants make Mary look pretty attractive, and I can assume they are very comfortable and convenient during combat. Her voice actor is also the same from 14, but I think Mary's lines during her attacks were re-recorded. They sound a bit different from the previous game. After her different intro animations, the presentation of her moves begins with a far standing C, jump D, climbing arrow or down forward B, and a standing CD. Too bad the trailer doesn't show her jump CD as well. That was one of her best assets in 14. She continues abusing the poor Terry with a normal and back throw, which look exactly the same as before. She then executes an EX version of her spider, an unblockable move that can easily catch her victim off guard. I noticed that the camera angle changes during this attack. I think this is the first time we saw this besides super moves, but I could be wrong. Next move is another EX special move, the Spinfall, which causes a ground bounce and allows to chain other attacks. After that, Mary takes out her big weapons and goes for a level 2 super, Mary's Typhoon. She has a lot of grappling moves and that super is one of them. It's a shame that the rose petal effect present in older games is still missing. She then executes her other level 2 super, Splash Rose, and like in the previous game, she finishes it with a devastating air grab. It's good to see that her old taunt is back. Mary switches victims and it's Joe's turn to receive some beating. She starts with a crouch B, standing A, as if she's conditioning Joe into blocking, and then goes for a regular version of her spider, which connects even if the opponent is in a crouching state. Her first showcased combo begins with a forward A overhead, and then she immediately activates a quick max mode, goes for a close C, forward A, and an EX vertical arrow, which can't be followed with her usual clutch, but does more hits. Joe tries fighting back with his flash kick. It was the perfect time for Mary to show her sidestep real counter, avoiding Joe's attack and following it with her German suplex. Next combo starts with a down forward B that launches Joe in the air and allows Mary to continue with her spin fall, vertical arrow, and finally the follow-up clutch. The last combo of this video begins with a close C, forward B, EX slicer, which she performs it using her hidden stun gun. Then she goes for level 1 super splash rose and finally cancels it into her level 3 super dynamite swing. This combo looks a lot like her max mode combo in 14, except Mary does no longer need to be in max mode to execute it, since EX special moves can be done independently from max modes in 15. Overall, her playstyle didn't change a lot compared to 14's, which is not a bad thing by any means. Mary was extremely good in that game, as she looks as strong as she ever was in 15. Lastly, we have a look at her wind pose that looks like an animated version of her wind pose from KOF 98. And that was pretty much it. The trailer ends without any indication to what team she belongs. Our speculations about Mary being the possible third member of the women fighters were wrong, it appears. Now the question is, what team Mary is gonna be part of? Since the women fighters is not an option and the Fatal Fury is already complete, my guess goes to the Agents team. She'll probably team up with Vanessa and Seth, or Vanessa and Ramon this time too. But there is still a chance that the good old 97 special will be formed once again. Granted, I don't see why Mary would team up with Billy and Crazy Yamazaki again, but she is a professional person. If her mission required her to, she'll do it no problem. Also, that theme, Masquarade, is not hers alone, it's the whole team's theme. I hope I'm right. Unfortunately, I rarely am with these trailers. Next trailer will probably present the last member of the women fighters. Who do you think it's gonna be? I personally hope it's Nudged. That's it for now. I hope that was somewhat informative. As always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.